Dexed, which is a DX7 emulator, and how to build it on the Pi. I did this some time ago. I thought on a Raspberry Pi 3, and then I got a Pi 4. I couldn't bloody get it to work. So I was so stoked the other day. I was helping somebody with some controller stuff. I'm not sure how helpful I was, but to build that, you need the -L atomic, and it turns out that's what you need on this. So let's go through some steps I found. So the first thing you need to do is to get hold of the actual software itself here. The internet's a bit slow today. And so you would go here and download it, and it tells you to basically run these little steps somewhere. Hang on, how to build on Linux with Linux. And this is great, but it doesn't quite work. So let's see if we can go through some of the more typical sort of slippery slope you might hit and what we do. So here's some basic stuff, and I'll do it in steps. The first thing you need is the jack. So I already have these installed, but let's just cut and paste them in. You need the jack daemon later for running it, so why not build it first? So you would go to your normal thing and run your sudo. Did it work? Okay, and it should say, hey, you've already got it, yeah? Hey, you've already got it, yeah? But if not, and you have to install the jack0 for the jack-dev, okay? And there might be other packages, but these are the main ones. Then I create some sort of variable. So let's just copy that in. It used to be, I used to like Motive, where you could just middle button stuff. So then what we would do is to mkdir and -p. So -p means create all the paths in between and keep the permissions. CD pling dollar means go to the, it's the last part of the command there. So basically it means if I did that, then I go up one and I rmdir Dexed, because all I want to do is to get in the relative position, have a variable for me, and there you go. Now we're going to git clone in the Dexed. Okay, I wish there was a quicker way of doing this with the middle button. Again, Motive middle button would work, but not on these tools the way they're set up. So how fast is this going to be? I'll just pause it for the minute whilst it's doing that. Okay, that came down. So what do we do now? Then we go into the directory. So we could say our $dexed home, a dir even rather, spell it right. And then we need to get the submodule. So this is this command here. Boom, 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 edit copy. And we paste that in, edit paste. This is tedious, sorry. Let's see how quickly that's going to come in. So this pulls in various other packages. Let me make that a little bit wider. I don't know, I kind of like it when that's better, when it doesn't keep going across the line. So again, we'll just pause this whilst it pulls down the submodules, and I'll be back in a moment. Okay, it took a few minutes today. I don't know, maybe the internet's busy, everyone's downloading stuff. So now, then we want to run this script, get-juice. I don't know what a deal with Juice is. It's quite a fantastic piece of software. Might even be something to do with Rolly, I'm not certain, but seems really cool, and it's used for controller as well. And as I said, I was trying to help someone with controller to debug it, and they said they were using the latest build, which I wasn't. So I had to get this 8-bit sort of atomic stuff into it, and I found out by looking at the internet, -L atomic was the solution for Raspberry Pi, and I think you may have to put it into an LD library path somewhere, which is what. Okay, so it's done that. Okay, so we got the juice, and then what do we do? We should have a scripts. So yeah, /scripts get. No, sorry, we did that. So now what we need to do is to go into, let's use the pushd. The push is a directory stack. So assets, juice, and if you tab will do, you do enough of ex is not enough because there's examples. If you do a double tab, you get that. So ext is enough, and then it will go to extras. So tab it, Projucer, builds, Linux, and here we are. So if we vim the Makefile here, we look for the LDFLAGS there. And what we need to do, so let's set a number on. So you can see where we are, line 44. Shift A to go to the end, and we want to add -L atomic onto it, which means use the library atomic. Then we look for the next one. So because we're using Vim, we can just do dot, and it does the same thing, yeah? Escape, and then slash to search for the next example. They look good. That's good. So we escape that. Now we can pop. No, we don't want to pop directory. We probably want to make it at this point. Hang on, ls-l. Yeah, let's just try and make that. Before we just try and make that, let's also see what's happening on the machine. So let's just do a htop. 100% busy. What the hell are we doing? gvem dexed. Okay, I'm a little bit scared by that. That's a bit more processing than I thought. Okay, let's hit it. And make can take the argument J4 because we've got 4 processors. So let's hit it. And you see it takes 4 at a time and it tries to compile them. And whichever one wins, it will compile the next one and off it will go. So it's trying to do the Projucer, what have you. And we're 100% busy using 2 gig at the minute. I think it used probably 3 at one point. So a Raspberry Pi 4 with at least 2 gig, but I mean, hell, the 8 gig one is really not that expensive in the scheme of things, and I think you regret not getting it. It's very hard to increase the RAM. So here it goes, it's running through 1 and a bit gig. And you know, I've never done this stage before, so it looks like Projucer is a really nifty, you can use it non-commercially. If you're commercial, then you need to basically buy a license, but for normal users, you can download this thing. And then I'd never seen it has this juicer. I've always seen a Projucer rather. I've always seen in Atom's code where it says kind of crazy names like underbar O blah 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 blah, and these are being produced by the Projucer, and it says things like warning Makefile don't change auto generated, and I've never understood where that's coming from, and it turns out it's coming from this juicer thing, and we'll see it in a minute. I was really quite stoked to see this running locally on a little Pi 4. But I'll just go on to pause mode at the minute because it's not very exciting to watch this compile, and we'll come back in a moment. So see you in a minute. Just a note here, you've got a couple of these sort of deprecated or GCC 7.1 things have changed. So this will be up to the juice guys to change this at one point. Hopefully they will, because it looks a bit evil what it's trying to do or not do. You know, if the parameters are in the wrong way, you're going to get terrible results. Okay, so it's finished building. It probably took about 10 to 15 minutes on my Pi 4. So now there should be a, let's have a look in the build file. So file, build, Projucer, and it says it's an ARM binary. So right, this was geeking me out here. So build Projucer. This should run the Projucer, and this is what it looks like. So wow, I've never seen this before. So now it sort of explains to me where I guess people are creating things like controller from. They're using this tool to generate various, you know, Projucer things. So this is cool. But anyway, now we have that. So we built that. So now what do we need to do? We're in that directory. So let's go up a few directories. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So that was where we start with the Dexed. And it looks like we want to push directory to assets juice. And if we look here, there's a Projucer. And if we do a file on ./Projucer, it says it's an x64. So remove that. You don't want it, right? And now we need to link the other one in. So it should be link minus symlink extras. Oh yeah, sorry, extras. I already said you need enough of the uniqueness in order to use that. LinuxMakefile builds Projucer. Capital P, Projucer is a dot. So what that will say when we do an ls-l is Projucer really lives there. Now when we do file Projucer, it, yeah, okay, that's exciting. I was hoping it would tell me something a bit more interesting than that. No, okay. I was hoping it would tell me the file type, but okay, Linux is being finicky. So now we pop directory and we're back at the Dexed. So now we can run the produce.lin. So if we just look at that file, more scripts produce lin.shell, you see that all it does is to run assets producer that. So let's run that. And I think that what happens is that when we run this is to set up Dexed, which is using Projucer. So obviously, like I showed you the producer running, there's some sort of backend you can run or file you can run to make it generate all of the make files. And I have a feeling there is a problem. So it's built the Linux Makefile, but I have a feeling it hasn't introduced the minus atomic stuff. So if we now try and run this build, I think it will fail. Oh, I got it twice. That's rather stupid. But maybe I got it twice to remind me that it fails the first time. Yeah. So let's just let it try and run. And we've already loaded the jack. If we didn't load the jack dev stuff, it would have failed for a different reason. But let's let it just run for a second. Let's see what it's up to. I don't know if you can tell this like minus J 3 or whatever, but I mean, we're just using our processors. So I have a feeling I have to go and edit the builds, but I'm not sure there's a builds there. Let's look in a different directory whilst that's running. Bear with me a second. CD software Dex. Actually, no, I was putting this one in documents software. Why have I got two? Well, I did one for myself, and I was so geeked out I got it working, I thought I would share with you guys, so I'm doing it from scratch. There we are. Look, builds Linux Vim Makefile, find LDFLAGS. Yeah, look, it hasn't got the, it hasn't propagated the atomic. So I'm going to stop this because it's going to fail. Okay, and there's no point in wasting CPU time. So actually we do need to, so let's just grab this stuff here. Our builds. Yeah, so I want to grab that bit there just for you. I'll put this in the description later. So this is just to make certain we got it right. So before we do this, now if somebody out there is able to work out how to get the juice to add this in, I mean, it might be that I need to open the file in the producer.lin. In fact, maybe that's not such a bad idea. Let's have a quick look here. lscripts producer lin.shell vim pling dollar, so that means the last one, assets producer minus dexed.juicer. So maybe that's it. So where is find dot minus name dexed.juicer minus print? Huh? Did I spell it wrong? Ah, yeah, I did. Sorry about that. So we need to look for a capital Dexed. I should have. Sorry, fat fingers today. Dexed. Okay, more Dexed juicer. What is it? It's a file. Okay, vim Dexed juicer. Is there slash LDFLAGS flag? I'll look at this later because this seems to be, so this seems to be a way of configuring something. I don't know if there's a way of telling it that you want extra library paths or what. In fact, that's a good idea. I'm sorry to be a pain here. I'm just trying to work out if we can do anything smart here. Where did we do it? We did it in assets dot slash assets juice, wasn't it? Extras. Oh no, we put producer there, didn't we? We just linked that, so we can use that producer on Dexed. Let's see what happens if we do that. Oh, that's going to try and run it as well. No, it's going to edit it. Aha. Okay, cool. So is there anything in here that allows us to add more stuff? Incompatible license. Yeah, sorry about that. Enable splash screen. I don't know what that means. Juice path. Your juice path folder is incorrect. Okay, I don't know what that means. Exporters, modules. Look, this is where you'd do it. Wow. Okay, this is cool. So I assume in here somewhere you would modify it extra library search path. So that could be it. That's a search path rather. Okay, that's a pretty good idea. All right, let's try and be a bit jackass about this. Let's open this up. cd/user find dot minus name libatomic star print. This might be what we need to do, yeah. So find out where it's installed. It's under one of these GNU. There we are. 8. That'll do. So that's going to be /user/that. So let's just edit copy that. So extra search paths would be /user paste. Come on, do it. Yeah, so that would be my extra search path. Is there anything here that allows me? I'll do that for the other one as well. Control C, we do it for debug. Control V. But somewhere we need to tell it. No, don't do that. We need to. So those are all the files that are part of it. Modules. Okay, I don't know what that is. Exporters. So LinuxMakefile debug. Build. Okay. Extra preprocessor. Extra compiler flags. Extra linker flags. Well, it is a link. External libraries to link. Oh, okay. Let's try that. Atomic. That. Oh, if I spell it correctly. That ought to be enough because atomic is going to be minus libatomic and it's a what do you call it one. Let's try this. I've not tried this before. Oh, Control Z background. Copy Dexed juicer to Dexed juicer.orig just in case I screw it up. Yeah. Foreground. Okay. So we'll save that. And I wonder, did it save? Saving, okay. I don't know what this means, but I didn't set it in the first place, yeah? So I wonder if this means that then when we run this juicer step, it will create a Makefile that's correct, yeah? I don't know, I've never used this before, but I'm hopeful that it will. So let's give it a go, yeah? So where were we? We were here, no. History. We were here. So let's recall 5432. I'm going to redo, no, 5433. We're going to recall the Projucer Linux, yeah? So this hopefully has taken the script and edited it. So now we can have a quick look to see if anything's changed, yeah? So, grep -r minus, oh, you need to escape the minus, latomic in star. So we edited to ourselves. Yeah, that's done it. Look, it's done it. See, it's put it in the build Makefile, documents, software, Dexed. Yeah, look, it's done it. Yay! So that's how you do it. This is handy for controller because for controller I have to change stuff, and now I realize I can find the controller juicer and do that. Okay, that would have worked now. So now we've. I'm sorry, I'm doing this real time with you guys, so I'm stoked that that's working. Yeah. So now I just need to build the Linux. So copy that and let's get that to do it. Edit paste. So let's. Okay. Now you need to open dexed.juicer with Projucer, and add in external library minus L atomic, add in library path. Where do we find the library path? Push d / user lib gnu something. CD, no, it wasn't. CD gnu, no, let's go up one. Find dot minus name libatomic star print. So /8, wasn't it? Boom, 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 boom. Oh, hello. Oh, wait a minute. So there was no minus. It was my bad. It's if you link it, there's a minus. There we are. So it's that. Edit, copy. Come here. /lib. Edit, paste. Oh, /user even. Okay. We don't want the /l. Then you can use produce lin.shell to create the make files. Okay. You should find something like something even like the below. Perhaps -L atomic will be before LDFLAGS. Okay, so that's so far. So then you build it. We shouldn't need to edit that anymore. Okay, let's just put that like that. So I'll go back to sleep for the minute. I'm sorry, I did this real time because it's the first time I've been doing it myself, and I'll leave it to compile and I'll come back to you and we see what we got to. Okay, in a moment. Yep, bye. Okay, yeah, sorry about that. I had something to do with it. So it's finished building, okay, and it looks like that did the trick, yeah. So I'm quite pleased about that. I was doing it the hardcore way and editing the files, and it's much better to edit the generator. So that's good. So now what we have is in this builds. I've got it down here, so check that. Make sure I'm checking. Blah 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 blah. Yeah. So actually, if we push dir here, give me a second. If we just push the directory here, I'm just doing this so when we get the to work, that would be good. And then we can pop dir, and then it says we cd build. So let's try that. Cd builds Linux build, and there we have it. File Dexed, and it is an ARM binary. So let's just run Dexed. Boom, boom, boom. And now you see it complains about the jack. So let's just stop that a second. It complains about jack. So the solution to that is quite simple. We have to run in a different window jack-d -alsa. So let's just go and do that. And this gives it an endpoint, cd somewhere, because in user we might not be able to write. So edit, paste. So now the jack-d is running, and when we replay this, it should just work. There we are. And then I think it comes with some built-in sounds. Let's have a look. Cart. Yeah, it's got this Dexed 01 and Synthres. So you could click on that, for example. And I don't know that the sound will come out from the speakers here. We'll give it a go. So yeah, I'm hearing something, but I have a feeling when I did this on another system, you couldn't hear French horn. So that's the sort of standard 1980s where I'm from, or when I was a teenager, sounds. And this is super cool. Now, one thing you could do, I'll make a point here. These are good things to look for. DX7 or the web. So let's just go to one I prepared earlier. And if you search for this, you will find this Swiss site. I think it's China, but it's Swiss, and the bear is playing the DX7. And here you see he's got a whole load of patches which you can download. Okay, and if you download those, you can unpack them, and I put them in my downloads. Sorry, I put them in my home directory, I think. So let's go back to the Dexed. Hang on. Pardon me. There's Dexed. I didn't see it. So I think what you do is say load, and you have to be slightly patient. And it comes up, and then we can go to my documents Dexed, and there's the order web, and here's a whole load of patches here from all over the place. And you think Midway is a computer game, isn't it? So have a look there. So you can then single select it, and then okay, and it loads up, and now we have more sounds. I don't know if they're working. Toto horn. But that's it. That's how you build it. So to recap, you are install the jack-dev, create some sort of directory where you're going to download the git, git clone, go into the Dexed, git submodules, run the get-juice, then you, and here we added the Makefile. Actually, we didn't need to do that. We probably could have done it directly from this step, actually. So no, we did have to edit the Makefile. We did have to edit the Makefile because we have to build Juice, and the Juice itself, we can't use Projucer to edit the Makefile because we haven't got Projucer. So we did have to edit the Makefile. So we had to go to Assets, Juice, X, Producer, Builds, LinuxMakefile, Makefile, look for LDFLAGS, stick the latomic on the end of it. And then you can go to that directory, link the, build the Producer. So I've got that missing somewhere. It must be the Makefile. So yeah, okay. So here, there's a missing step, isn't there? So we're in that directory. So now we need to make -J4. Okay, that's an important step. Then when it's built, we go there, we link that in, we pop the directory. Then we can use this Projucer that we've just created to open the Dexed.juicer, and we add that in as the library path, and this -latomic as the external library, and we do it in do this in the debug and the release path, and then we use the Projucer to take this modified juice to create the make files. This is then done for us, but you can check that you've got this thing going on. So question latomic back. So it's actually going to look, it looks like that when it does it. So that's what it will look like. And then you build the Linux, you go to these directories. I don't think we need to edit the Makefile anymore, do we? So we don't need that, that just works, yeah. So we don't need to do that, and so we go to build Linux Dexed and then search for your whatevers and ultimately plug in some sort of MIDI keyboard